Welcome to today's blockbuster commentary, where we witness an epic showdown between Jiting and the ant. With that, she hurled peaches at the ant, snatched the phone, and quickly deleted the video. Just then, the phone rang. President Park's family scrapped their plans due to heavy rain, 8 minutes from home. Mrs. Park asked Yingzi to prepare jjajangmyeon quickly. New chaos arose. Yingzi cleaned up and started cooking. Old Jin and Jiayu locked the two in the basement while Jiting frantically cleaned up the living room, only to hear footsteps coming upstairs. She quickly hid, and just as President Park's family arrived home, the waking ant kicked aside Old Jin and dashed upstairs in a flurry, right at the nick of time. Seeing this, Old Jin rushed to lift her to the basement, only to find a man banging his head on the wall switch. The hallway lights flickered. She was signaling SOS with her head. The terrifying things were her. To avoid detection, Old Jin tied her up. When President Park's family slept upstairs, they prepared to flee. Eager to record, Do-san brought a tent, forcing the couple to sleep on the couch. As Mrs. Park lay down, Mr. Park smelled something odd, not rot, and Old Jin's liking for him dropped sharply. Once asleep, the siblings quietly fled, but their father's leg went numb at the worst moment. Police, you're late. Fortunately, the bright beam from the flashlight kept them from noticing Old Jin hiding in the shadows until the light flickered off. Only then did Old Jin breathe a sigh of relief as they scurried through the light rain toward home. At this moment, the mountain path resembled a waterlogged street, and Old Jin's face turned as red as a ripe tomato. They scuttled down the hill like little critters escaping, all the way from their high-end mansion to their lowly abode, just like cockroaches on the run. Finally, when they reached the basement, they had to navigate 4 flights of stairs, each step stripped away another layer of their dignity. At this point, the foul water had drowned their cozy little home, and the only valuable item left was Mrs. Jin's medal. An ordinary stone gifted to Jiayu by a childhood friend was floating, revealing itself as a treasure. She finally understood that the truth hidden beneath lies would eventually come to light someday. Among the family, only Jiting fully understood. She pulled out a hidden pack of cigarettes from the ceiling. Casually sitting on the toilet, she lit one up as if everything that happened today was some sort of divine plan. The heavy rain exposed their true selves. Jiayu asked her father about the next plan, but Old Jin replied, "Plans? Now that's a must. Without a plan, life becomes a comedy." Her inaction led to an even greater disaster. Meanwhile, in the basement, the ant exhausted her last bit of strength to untie her husband. Eventually, she collapsed from blood loss. The next day, sunlight flooded Mrs. Park's face as she decided to throw a birthday party for her son, inviting the Jai family as well. Old Jin excitedly rummaged through the age clothes and chose a piece before heading with Mrs. Park to buy and greet. In the car, Mrs. Park put her feet on the passenger seat. The longer you know someone, the more you realize Old Jin's perceived kindness was just a wealthy facade. Just then, Mrs. Park caught a whiff of the poor smell her husband mentioned. She looked disdainfully at Old Jin, oblivious to her feet, leaving Old Jin utterly despaired. The Mrs. Park she adored could snub the poor as well. Meanwhile, Jiayu was making out with a girl. She stood by the window and gazed at the affluent upper class, realizing that to change her fate, marrying that girl was the quickest shortcut. This wicked idea began to blossom in her mind as she picked up the stone believed to bring good luck. She then walked into the basement, firmly believing that only the dead could truly keep a secret. Yet in an instant of inattention, the stone beneath her feet slipped off the stairs swiftly. As she bent to retrieve the stone, she found the ant lying on the ground. The man picked up the stone, intent on killing her. Fortunately, at a critical moment, Jiayu broke free from Mr. Park and raced upstairs, but ultimately, a steel pipe caught on the wire. Unbeknownst to those outside, danger was looming. The man took a swig of liquor, readied the stone, and aimed to smash it down on Jiayu again. "That hard head of yours ought to cool off now, right?" With that, the man grabbed a kitchen knife and slowly approached the door, spotting Jiting in the crowd. The man charged at Jiting, stabbing her without hesitation. Chu-sung fainted at the childhood trauma site. Chaos erupted instantly. Yingzi quickly grabbed an axe to confront him, while Old Jin lunged at her daughter. Dad, don't go. Please stay." Just as she tossed the key to President Park, the man pinned her down. At this moment, Yingzi was in dire straits. Luckily, she evaded a lethal blow and skewered him with a barbecue skewer, making his pupils dilate in shock. President Park looked at the situation easing, ready to leave, but the stench of basement poverty fueled Old Jin's ire. Unable to contain her anger any longer, Old Jin grabbed a kitchen knife and thrust it at President Park. She ultimately fell victim to her own cleanliness. By the time Old Jin snapped back, the ground was littered with bodies. Without a second thought, she bolted outside, echoing Yingzi's words, "Wherever there's a corpse, shall scatter like a cock." Shortly after, Jiayu narrowly escaped death. It was just debris, but she snapped mentally. She giggled constantly, even at her sister's memorial. The judge considered her mental state. They were merely sentenced to fraud with probation. They were once a happy family, but little did they know. No matter how bright luck shines, it can't outshine in greed. The verdict ended as Jiayu regained composure. She watched the news about the nationwide search for her father. Since then, Old Jin seemed to have vanished.